everyone, Mary-Anne Gillespie, CEO of Red Apple Coaching Consulting. So welcome to this week's weekly coaching tip. So I do apologize. The Olympics are going on. I'm all over the place today. Meaning my voice is going, my energy level is a little bit different, but most of all, it is my voice is going, and we're getting ready for Super Bowl today. So here's the scoop. I wanted to drop in and give you a quick weekly tip on coaching advice. So here's what I would suggest, guys. This is the time to hunker down and find those listings. If you haven't noticed something, take a good look at most of your marketplaces. What has happened in the last 2 weeks? Almost every marketplace has had a 20% jump in inventory. Okay, so whether it was 5% or 20%, there's been a jump the last 2 weeks. That means people are listing houses around you. So the question you want to ask yourself is, am I listing houses all around me too? You got to dumpster dive in there and say, am I getting my fair share of the market, or am I just actually increasing a little bit, not much, or are you doing the opposite? Okay, so here's the thing. What also happened is that the analysts called for about a 6 to 9% annual increase in home prices over the next year, in this year that we're in, 2022. So here's the scoop. If you followed your marketplaces, which I think most of you do, you've seen close to 13 to 20% increases. So make sure you check your prospective market, because I don't know everybody who's watching this is market. But here's the thing. Most marketplaces, my marketplace took a 16% increase in the last 40 days. So what am I doing with that information? Okay, so I'm knowing that more listings are hitting the market. Interest rates are going to be going up. If you follow the United States, they're up to 4% now. So if you follow Canadian real estate, we're probably going to have an interest rate increase in March or April. So not only are you going to get a market increase in March or April, but what you're also seeing is a jump of listings hitting the market. And you're also seeing price increases that were way beyond what the analysts predicted. So what we said a couple of weeks ago, and we called it actually at the end of the year, we even said at the end of 2021, we are going to have an early spring. All these are indicators of an early spring. Prices going up, inventory jumping, lots of stuff happening. And then of course, add in that filter of urgency that you're going to see, which is the interest rates increasing in another 60 days or so. So here's the scoop. What do you need to do? If I were you, the number one thing I would do is I'd be hitting the phones because of that price jump, and I'd be targeting people like investors who have maybe one property and they're waiting for that last spike of the market condition. So what I would do is I would hammer at the phones and I'd be like, hey, listen, is there any chance that you're thinking of selling your property? Now that we know we've seen a surge, it may be our final surge, which I actually do think it will be our final surge. I mean, whether or not that's true or not, I don't have a crystal ball, but if you follow market trends, this final surge of a push should be the spring market push, meaning it should balance out, if not adjust a little, as soon as April, May is done. So I would go back and I would call all those people who are waiting for that final surge, like investors who have a place to offload, because it's the jump in rate, price increase is so substantial right now that's unheard of. So why not pick up the phone and address that and say, hey, listen, it's Mary-Anne calling. I just want to let you know, we saw a 16% jump in prices in the last 40 days, which usually is an indicator that the prices will balance out after the spring market. This is kind of a last sort of, are you interested in selling? Because if you have any investment properties or anything that you want to offload, now is probably the best opportunity for you to do it. Is this a time for you or not? Same thing, go back through everything, canceled, expires, withdrawals, investors who have one place to sell. My point is that are you using a script that is indicative of what is actually happening in the market? Are you educating people? Because I'll tell you, knowing that there's a huge jump like that in pricing will sometimes be the difference between one person saying, 6 to 9%, I think I'll just hold. I'm happy with where I am. 16, 20% jumps in 40 days might be that last push that one person, that baby boomer who's thinking of downsizing, that investor who has a property that they're like, man, I don't really love that property. I've had a lot of problems with it. This could be the last push that they have to say, hey, fair warning, this is what we're seeing. Okay. And remember what happened in 2017, and it was all over the news in the GTA area that there were so many people that were upset that the realtors didn't reach out and call them and say, hey, guess what's happening? You know what? The prices jumped up one last time. That's probably it. There was a lot of news stations saying that the realtors didn't do a good enough job of letting the public know what was actually coming down the pipeline with pricing. Now, again, we don't know. If the analysts didn't know and we're sort of surprised at the price jumps, the only thing we are is the vehicle to pick up a phone and say, hey, this is what we're seeing. Is this enough for you now to make a decision? Go hard on that. That's all I'm going to say. Go hard. What is unknown is what the Bank of Canada is going to be doing for the rest of the year. And same thing in the United States. We don't know. We don't have a lot of predictors. So the truth is that we can deal with what we have now. And what we have now is inventory increases. Very important to take a look at your prospective marketplaces. And the second thing is we're seeing a surge in pricing that we've never seen before. It probably is temporary. It's a little bit of a bubble from after that Christmas thing. So take advantage of it if you're a seller thinking of selling this marketplace, but don't assume people are going to call you. Get out there, get your fair market share, okay? And be the most educated realtor by knowing what's happening in your marketplace. All right. Hopefully you like this week's tip. Go get them, guys.